Hello, Fat Grandma here. It is Sunday night, the 30th. I should have known that off the top of my head. Tomorrow's Halloween. I actually thought about wearing some kind of weird ears headband or something like a costume, but of course I didn't go anywhere to buy anything. And all of the headbands, I had a giant assortment of headbands for various holidays that my granddaughter and I used to wear when we would go do stuff, just random headbands with weird things on them or whatever, signifying whatever holiday was, going on around the time we were out doing things. And we would wear these goofy headbands or ears or whatever. But I donated all of those. I had a giant hat box full, it crammed full of all those kinds of things, and I donated them. So a few months back, and so I don't have them anymore. So no costume for me. I've got my Maleficent T-shirt on. You guys can't. Oh, you can see the top of her head. Anyway, um, so sales this week have not really picked up. They were a little bit better than not last week, but the 2 weeks prior that just were awful. I have been listing a lot, and I had some things that I got from an auction very recently. They were it was a lot. I'll put a picture up here. It was a lot of these Mason's Firestone Vista dishes, different types of dishes and things. And I spent an entire afternoon in the front yard with the garden hose and some Windex cleaning them, because I don't know what was on them, but it had a greasy feel to it, and it was almost like they'd been in someone's garage, and the exhaust from vehicles had been getting on them for years, and they were just sitting there getting dust on them, and the oil and the dust kind of mixed, and it was just, they all weren't looking great. But I cleaned them all. I spent, like I said, a whole afternoon out under a tree in the front yard on a table, card table, those card tables with the chairs. I have one of those tables, and I have two chairs, and so I just got a shower curtain, a cheapy shower curtain at the dollar store, laid it over the table, and spent the afternoon spraying Windex on each piece and then rinsing it off and then drying it. And I took the photos while I was outside. So anyway, I got all of that stuff listed. So that took up a good chunk near the beginning of the week. But I've gotten some other stuff listed too, and I've got a whole bunch more Hallmark ornaments. You can't see them all. I've got a giant stack of Hallmark ornaments to list. So I'll have even more of those in my store. But I'm going to go through the sales that I've had this week, and then kind of fill you guys in on a little bit of stuff, and then that'll be it. So hopefully this won't drag on for too long. And I've already talked for almost 4 minutes, 4 minutes now. So you know what to expect when I make a video. So if you've been here before, you know how I am. Anyway, so the first item that sold was a teacup and saucer that I got at a thrift store. I think I got it at Salvation Army. And their prices were a little steep. I think it was Salvation Army. If it wasn't, I'll put the name of whatever thrift store it was above my head up here. Anyway, the teacup and saucer sold for $9.99 plus shipping. They were a demitasse. I think that's how you say it, demitasse. I don't know. The little tiny cups and saucers. They're smaller than your typical teacup and saucer. Anyway, it was made in occupied Japan, so it was a vintage item. And again, it sold for $9.99 plus shipping. And I don't know what's going on with my glasses. I can't see. My eyes are tired. I've been doing stuff all day, and you get to see me without my glasses on. I can't see anything right now. Get these back on. I don't know if that helped or made it worse. What is on? Okay. I don't know if that's going to be any better. The next item that I sold was a lot of 8 Fair Winds USS Portsmouth fruit bowls. And I cannot remember. I know I got these in an auction lot, but I don't remember which one it was and what else was with them. If I dig it up, I'll put it up in the corner with my pictures and stuff. And okay, so those sold for $15.99 plus shipping. They spent $30, so the shipping was almost as much as the bowls, but with 8 of them, they were heavy, and they were all in like perfect condition. Like there was no crazing, there were no chips, there was nothing. These bowls were in really good shape, so hopefully they make it there in one piece without any. I pack all my glassware now really well, so if stuff breaks, it's because somebody was trying to damage the box. It's just, there's no other way to describe when stuff does end up getting broken. It's because somebody's being reckless, or being purposeful with what they're doing. The next item I sold, and this is something that I've had for a few months. I've had it listed for a few months. I think I spent $10 on this dish, and it only sold for $22.50. I had it listed for $25. I got an offer, I countered, and then they paid $22.50 plus shipping. And with the shipping, it was $38. It was a little over $38, and it was heavy. Again, I've sold quite a few heavy things this week, which is strange, and people are paying through the nose for the shipping, but whatever. Half of my things were heavy, and the other half were like super light items. So, one extreme to the other. Anyway, again, it was a vintage Viking glass lime green poppy silver floral overlay dish, and I've showed you guys pictures of it before. I really liked it, and that's one of the reasons I bid on it. I just thought it was really a cool dish. There were a couple of others I found on eBay, but none of them were the green. They were different colors, so I didn't find any other green ones. And again, that sold for $22.50 plus shipping. So they spent a total of $38.48 for that dish. The next thing I sold were two egg cups from the Mason's Ironstone. All the stuff that I just spent that day this week washing and cleaning up, I sold the egg cups. So those are gone now. And they spent $12 plus shipping for those. So they spent $19.73 with their shipping and everything. I did get an offer on those. I think I had them listed for $15, and they offered me $10, and I went back and said I can't lower the price. I'd only had them listed for like 24 hours, and to get an offer that was that much off of what I was asking, and I had the lowest price for any of these that were listed, so but I did go ahead and take a little bit off of it, just gets it out of here. So even though they were a new listing, I didn't want to sit on them for much longer. I did get an offer. There's a butter dish from that same batch of items, and the butter dish, I think I have it listed for $50, and I got a really lowball offer on it, and I said no. I just wasn't even going to budge on that because I know it's uncommon. There aren't very many. There's either listings with just the cover for the butter dish or just the tray that it goes on, and these are the 1/4 pound butter dishes, like a regular cube of butter. would go on this thing, and there aren't full sets of these listed on eBay. And one that sold recently sold for a lot more than that. So I just priced it at 50 or 55, and I'm going to let it sit there for a little while before I take anything off of the price, you know. And there's a lot of people watching it. I think I haven't even had these listed for a week yet, and there's already, I think, 7 people watching that butter dish. So I'm just going to let it sit there. You know, I thought about changing it and putting it on an auction, but I don't want to take any chances with it. So I'm just going to leave it listed for a while and see what happens. The next item, those, I think I said, those sold for $12 plus shipping. The 2 egg holders, egg cup holders. Anyway, the next item was the, and I may have showed this to you guys in a video a long time ago, back when my voice wasn't matched up. Everything was out of sequence. It was a musical Christmas snow globe, and I got this at an auction, and I cannot remember. I mean, it was a long time ago that I got this snow globe. I ended up selling it for $15 plus shipping. Now, the shipping was more than the item was, and I was afraid that was going to happen. This was really heavy, and the person spent $35.26 for this snow globe with the shipping. The shipping has gone up, and so it's not making it any easier. I'm gonna continue to try to stay away from things that are heavy, because you know, you almost have to lower the price so that people can afford to buy things, because the shipping is so stupid. And I even shipped at UPS. That was with UPS shipping, so it was like the cheapest price that I could ship this item, and they still spent more on the shipping than they did on the snow globe. So, you know, it is what it is. The next item I sold was a Day of the Dead resin cat. It was just 4 inches tall. It was cute, you know. Anyway, I sold that for $5.96, and they paid $13.34 with shipping. So the shipping was actually more for that, and it was little. And I stuck it in a little box. I think I shipped it in a 6x6x6 box. All of this stuff, by the way, is going to, I think, everything except for, well, starting at the egg cups. All of the stuff that I'm going to tell you guys, this is all going to the post office tomorrow. All of this stuff came in, all of these things sold since Friday. So the only things that sold before Friday were the teacup and saucer and those 8 Fairwinds bowls and that lime green dish bowl, whatever you want to call it. Those all sold before Friday, but everything else has sold from Friday through the weekend. So let's see, I told you about the cat, the Day of the Dead cat. The next thing that I sold was 3 of those ducks. Those ducks that I told you guys about recently. I sold 3 of the Australian animals ducks. So one's a kangaroo, one's a koala, and one's a platypus, I think. Or yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, so, or a beaver, I don't know. I think it's a platypus. Anyway, those sold for $5.97, and it was $12.42, and that was first class shipping because it was under £1. So, but they still ended up spending more for the shipping again than they did for the actual items. The last eBay sale, all of this stuff has been eBay. I've got one I can't talk, one Poshmark sale, and it was one of the boxes that was sitting back there that was big. Was a Fisher-Price Paradise Pals Roll and Roared Dinosaur. And I got that at an auction at that allsurplus.com. Anyway, I spent $10 on the stupid thing, and it only sold for $14.99. So, but again, the shipping killed, you know, it killed the sale basically, because it's been sitting because the shipping was so high, and with the shipping, it was $33.72 that this person paid for this item. I've also had it on Facebook Marketplace. People have looked at it, but no one, who wants to pay more in shipping than you're paying for the thing that you're buying? It's just dumb. So they paid a total of $33.72 for this thing, and you know, eh, it's gone. It was a big box. I've slowly been going through things, preparing for the swap meet. Anyway, I've got one more item. It's the Poshmark sale. That was my last fairy. My last fairy has sold. She sold on Poshmark, and she sold for $55 plus shipping. So, and the Poshmark shipping is different. I don't even know how much people spend on the shipping or how that even works. They just send me a label, and you know, I slap it on the box. If it's under 5 pounds, it is whatever. But I'll get $44 from that sale, and it sold for 55. So, I'm guessing I paid for the shipping. I have no idea. Again, I don't know how they work that. And I know that I don't think Poshmark is taking $11 on a $55 sale. Maybe they are. I have no clue. It's gone, so it's over with. All the fairies are gone. The only thing I have left that is fairy related is this. I can't think of the name. Flask. This is how much I drink these days. And I really was never a heavy drinker. I just used to go out with my friends and have drinks. And I was never the drink at home kind of person. I mean, occasionally I would have like a glass of wine, but hardly ever really when I was by myself. I was a social drinker for sure. Anyway, this is the last thing I have left from my fairy collection. And it's a flask, and has been used, but I've washed this thing out with, it's stainless steel. I've washed this with vinegar, alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, sanitizer, all kinds of stuff has been in this thing. So it's been thoroughly cleaned. Anyway, that's the last thing that I've got listed on eBay that's from my fairy collection. Still got a bunch of nightmare stuff listed. That is it for my sales. And, they would have been better dollar-wise had the shipping not been so stupid on pretty much everything. The price of the shipping on everything I sold was ridiculous, for the items. And I shipped them the cheapest way. If it's under a pound, it goes first class. That's super cheap. But I don't know. USPS raised their prices for the holidays, and it's like, okay, so, I do give my buyers, when it's something that's heavier, I will give them the option of UPS or FedEx, or I will give them the option of priority or ground. And I hate doing the ground thing because the post office has broken things for me a couple of times. But, it's just insane how much priority costs when something is over 3 pounds. So, I'm trying to, and I give my customers my eBay shipping discount, and they're still paying this much in shipping. So, I guess I have too much of a conscience. I don't know what my problem is. I want to be fair, but it's counterproductive for me because taking into consideration the fact that I buy most of my boxes and stuff because shipping using the priority boxes would mean my customers would be paying a lot more for shipping than they will if I use a different kind of box that maybe, because with priority, you're fitting it into whatever box they have that it might work for that, for that particular item. And if it's something that I can ship first class, if it's under a pound, I'm going to do that. If it's media mail, which I've had a few of those with the DVDs and some books that I've sold, that's cheaper. So I'm going to use my own boxes, with the ducks and things like that, and the cat, the snow globe wouldn't fit. I don't think that would have fit in any of the priority boxes. Maybe the super big one that they have, but then there would have just been a bunch of excess room. And when I'm shipping something that is breakable, I try to use a box that isn't going to leave too much room for moving around once I've got all the bubble wrap and all of the padding and everything around the item, you know. So I spend quite a bit on boxes and bubble wrap, especially the half-inch bubble wrap. I did order bubble wrap from American Bubble Boy, and I found a way to just order one big roll. I didn't have to order two, so I don't have to worry about where to keep it, which has been my problem. You know, I couldn't, I could still save more money if I could order two rolls at the same time, but I don't have anywhere to keep all this extra stuff. So, you know, for now, I'm still having to spend more than I should on supplies, you know. At some point when I move, I'll be able to do two rolls of bubble wrap at a time. It'll save me money, you know. So we'll get there, you know. It's just my profit is very minimal with most of the things that I sold this past week, just because of weight issues and the items that sold, you know, and having to reduce prices, or feeling like I need to reduce the price because the shipping makes it insane. And you know, and I know people are watching their pennies right now. A lot of people anyway, not everybody, but you know, a lot of people are spending a lot more for gas. I filled up this past week, and it was 5.05 per gallon, I think. So I'm not driving very much. I'm only, if I have to drive anywhere, I make sure I'm going to run a few errands on the way or on my way back so that I'm not wasting gas. I don't just make one trip to like go pick up groceries, or just one, you know, run to the post office. I'm doing something else on my way there or on my way back, so that I don't feel like I've wasted gas because I didn't just do one stupid thing, you know. And the stuff that I'm taking to the post office tomorrow, I can't, our mailman, I don't, we don't ever have the same person. So it's not like I can trust them to pick up my stuff and it gets to the post office and gets scanned, you know. If it was back in the day when we had the same mailman all the time and we knew him, and you know, then you'd feel like there's a little more, like you could trust a little bit more that your stuff's going to get where it's supposed to go. But we have a different person like every other day, and it's like, really, you know, I don't know what's going on with that. But I don't feel safe having things picked up all the time. If it's stuff that's just, it's not worth very much and there's just one or two boxes, then I'll schedule a pickup, you know. But if it's stuff like the stuff that I sold over the weekend, I don't want to leave it out front. I don't want to hope that the mailman's going to pick it up, or mail person, and it's going to magically get to the post office, because you just don't know. You hear all these horror stories about, you know, they went to this postal worker's house and the garage was full of mail that never got delivered or whatever, you know, and I'm just, yeah, you know. Um, so, yeah, my sales, I did, you know, they were decent. You know, had a few. It was not, it didn't suck, okay, you know, but, and I am bringing money in, but it's not, I'm not making a lot of profit on each thing, which is, you know, I've got to get better about my buying and how much I'm spending on, you know, an item, so that when I do sell it, the profit is larger, you know, but it's all a learning thing. And you know, like I said, I've got more ornaments to list, and I'm just plugging along, staying busy, still looking for apartments. I think I've probably harassed every one of the senior sliding scale apartment complexes in the Metro Phoenix area for an application, or to get on their waiting list, or both, you know. I think I've called all of them. So I've got my spreadsheet, and I just have to touch base with them every once in a while and see what's going on. And, you know, something will open up when it's supposed to. That's the way I'm just trying to be hopeful, and I'm looking at it like, when it's the time for me to move, that's when something will open up and I'll have the opportunity to move, you know. Um, I'm not going to make myself crazy over it. So my ice maker is making sounds. I love my ice maker. I'm telling you, during the summertime here, because we have an ice store, you know, where you can go buy a bag of ice or bags of ice that's not that far away. It's less than a mile from the house. And if I would go get a bag of ice, I'm not kidding, like 2 cups of water would have melted off of it, even with the air conditioning going in the car, by the time I got home, if I went during the summer. And, you know, I'm poking a hole in the bottom of the bag of ice before I put it in the freezer because there's so much loose water in it, because so much of it melted on the way home. It's insane how fast it would melt. And then I had to put it in the garage refrigerator freezer, because there's no room in the freezer in the house for a bag of ice. And so, yeah, that the desktop ice cube maker is awesome. You know, it's has saved my butt during the summer. Haven't had to really run the air conditioner lately, so that's been good. It's been in the 70s, low 80s a couple of days this past week, but really beautiful day when I was out in the front yard, in the shade washing off the dishes and stuff. It was really nice outside. There was a breeze and it was just this my favorite time of year here. You know, unfortunately it doesn't last long enough, but it's something. So um, I don't know if there's anything else I was going to tell you guys about. I think I told you about the Hallmark ornaments that I got. Oh, um, that banana box is still back there, but that's because I sold the writing, that Fisher Price thing that I sold was one of the boxes that was sitting back there on top of the banana box. I am using that box to put stuff in that I'm going to take to the swap meet with me. So it's holding things right now. So that's why it's still there. I decided not to get rid of it because it's pretty sturdy, and I can fit a lot of crap in it. So as I'm going through stuff, I'm just throwing things in that, and I'm gonna have way more boxes. But I've already got one box to my right over here that's crammed full of stuff that's going. So slowly making my way through. I don't know. That's what I was going to tell you guys about. I don't know if I'm going to do the swap meet next weekend or the weekend after, because next weekend is the 5th, and I think I was going to possibly wait till the weekend of the 12th to go to the swap meet because I need a little bit more time just to go through stuff and figure out which things I'm taking. So, plus it'll for sure be cooler by then and I won't melt while I'm out there because we're still occasionally having a day every once in a while where it's over 80 degrees. And if I'm out, there's no shade at this swap meet thing. There's no shade. I'll probably be sitting in the back of the U-Haul truck, you know, while it's going on, if I'm waiting for people to come by or whatever. So I don't feel like melting while I'm out there. I know I'm going to end up with a sunburn. I have to find one of my hats so I can wear something on my head. Anyway, I guess that's it. Tomorrow is Halloween, or today is Halloween. It's just after midnight here in Arizona. So happy Halloween. I hope you guys have fun. You may have already done whatever Halloween things you were going to do if it was, you know, indoors somewhere. Or I know a lot of churches sometimes will have like Halloween functions for the kids and trunk or treat or whatever that is. I took my granddaughter to one out in Apache Junction one time when we all lived in Mesa. And it was pretty fun. The fire department was there, and all these businesses had their cars lined up, and they were all doing the trick or treat out of the trunk of their cars. So, and then they had other stuff going on in the park, you know, for the kids, but it was fun. We had a good time. So, anyway, if you haven't done your Halloween and you guys are going to trick or treat tomorrow, I hope that some of the houses are giving out candy, and I hope everybody has a good time and stay safe and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good week. Bye.